The teasers dropped. The fandom went silent. The world thought they knew everything about the golden Maknae. But behind the record-breaking streams and the flashing lights, well, an entirely different story was unfolding. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down as the headline flashed. Jungkook finally reveals the truth. He's been hiding this. Welcome to a special deep dive of Starscope K Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Halley wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
Yeah, and the wave we're analyzing today, it isn't just, a standard comeback. It is a complete tectonic shift in how global pop stardom is engineered and experienced.
Exactly. And, addressing you listening right now, you might think you know the story of Jungkook's solo debut. But today, we have a very specific mission. We are navigating this massive stack of sources, like we've got reports from the Hindustan Times and the Times of India.
Right. Plus, official data from Weverse, Shaw Theaters, and this heavy-hitting marketing breakdown from Amra and Elma.
Yeah, our goal is to completely dissect the hidden truths, the intense psychological pressures, and the absolute logistical genius behind his golden era. And of course, his record-breaking solo documentary, Jungkook, I Am Still.
What stands out immediately in these sources is this striking contradiction. I mean, we are watching a literal masterclass in global domination executed by an artist who, behind closed doors, was fighting an intense psychological battle.
Just to believe he deserved to be there. Let's set the scene here. The second preview trailer for the documentary drops, and instantly the internet just freezes.
It completely stops.
Yeah. The world sees this untouchable idol, but the trailer reveals an insecurity that practically no one saw coming. According to the official Weverse and Shaw Theaters announcements, the documentary chronicles this 8-month journey.
Tracking him from the sultry global summer hit 7, all the way to the rhythmically complex release of 3D.
Exactly. And right in the middle of this meteoric rise, the Times of India report highlights a very raw, hidden truth. Jungkook looks at the camera and confesses to, a crippling imposter syndrome. He literally asks out loud, will I be able to earn people's recognition just on my own without the power of BTS?
Which is just a staggering admission. I mean, in K-pop terminology, a Maknae is the youngest member of a group. And Jungkook isn't just any Maknae, he's the golden Maknae.
The guy who excels at absolutely everything.
Right. Singing, dancing, rapping, visuals. So for domestic Korean netizens, K-nets and International Army, to see this pillar of perfection express that level of profound doubt, it completely recontextualized his entire solo era.
Oh, for sure. Fans were struck by the insane amount of effort hidden behind his seemingly effortless performances.
Yeah, one fan quote from the sources perfectly captures this. They said, this isn't just a comeback, it's a debut.
Wait, I have to push back here a little bit, though. Let's look at this critically. He is the most popular member of arguably the biggest band in the world. He has a guaranteed built-in audience of millions ready to buy whatever he drops.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Right. So is this imposter syndrome actually genuine? Or is this, a carefully curated narrative by a billion-dollar PR team designed to make an untouchable superstar seem more grounded? I mean, why does the transition from 7 to 3D trigger such intense pressure?
It's a fair question, but if you look at the history of idol culture, manufacturing weakness is a massive risk. K-pop is an industry built on projecting flawless execution, right?
But that's true. They don't usually show the cracks.
Exactly. For an agency to allow their top artist to look vulnerable, exhausted, and openly doubtful of his own solo viability, that's not standard PR. When you are in a 7-member ecosystem, the pressure is distributed.
Oh, like sharing the vocal runs and the media scrutiny?
Yes, you share the weight. The moment he stepped out for 7, that safety net vanished. If the song flopped, it wasn't a BTS flop, it was a Jungkook flop. He was trying to prove to himself that his individual artistry could hold the globe's attention.
Without relying on the sheer gravity of the BTS name. And when you look at the scale of this project, you can see why the pressure was so crushing. This wasn't a standard behind-the-scenes YouTube vlog.
Not at all.
According to the official rollout details, they treated this like a massive global cinematic event. It's a 93-minute feature film with a worldwide theatrical release on September 18th.
With Korea getting an early premiere on September 4th and Japan following on October 4th.
Yeah, but what I found really fascinating was digging into the Australian classification details for the film. The ratings always reveal exactly who the agency is targeting.
Oh, I love this detail. What did it say?
So it's rated G in Australia, but it includes very specific consumer advice. It warns of flashing lights, which obviously makes sense for a stadium concert. But it also includes mild language warnings.
Like what kind of language?
They specifically note the use of words like hell, damn, and off-screen muttering of the word shit, and importantly, the word horny in his song lyrics.
Wow. That classification alone tells a complete story about the golden era. For years, the global perception of K-pop has been highly sanitized.
Yeah, super clean.
Right, but by leaving that mild language in the documentary, and certainly by leaning into the explicitly mature lyrics of 7 and 3D, he is deliberately shedding that purely innocent idol image.
He is demanding to be seen as a mature, autonomous adult artist. It's a very calculated growing pain.
Exactly.
That fear of standing alone is so real. But what's crazy is that his management didn't hide that fear. They weaponized it. They took that raw human vulnerability and built an absolute promotional machine around it. But this emotional trailer was just the tip of the iceberg. Wait till you hear the exact 15-step blueprint netizens and marketing experts uncovered that guaranteed his solo world domination. That's coming up next.
Oh, this is where we shift from psychology to sheer logistical mastery. The translation of that vulnerability into a bulletproof strategy is exactly why the golden era secured a solo all-kill.
And for those unfamiliar, an all-kill in the K-pop world means literally dominating every single major, real-time, and daily chart simultaneously. So let's unpack the mechanics of that domination.
Yeah, the Amra and Elma marketing report breaks down the 15 secrets behind his solo debut. And it wasn't just, let's put out a good song and hope Ara streams it.
Right. The first step was meticulously crafting a distinct personal brand that leveraged BTS's fame but didn't rely on it.
It's a delicate balancing act. Like, how do you create Jungkook version 1 without making it feel like a betrayal of BTS part 2? The report highlights how he expanded his visual identity far beyond traditional K-pop aesthetics.
Oh, leaning heavily into high-fashion crossovers, right?
Yes. We saw these incredibly chic, high-end editorial looks that established him not just as a singer, but as a global luxury icon.
And then there's the music itself. The strategic collaborations were a masterstroke, working with artists like Lano on 7 and Jack Harlow on 3D.
Which is exactly how you build a bridge to a completely new audience.
Can you break down how that specific collaboration strategy works? Because to a casual listener, it just looks like two famous people singing together.
Sure. It's essentially a Trojan horse strategy for Western radio. Historically, Western mainstream radio has been notoriously hesitant to play solo K-pop tracks.
Yeah, they rarely give it airtime.
Right, but by collaborating with someone like Jack Harlow, who already has an established pipeline to Western hip-hop and pop radio programmers, you force the song into entirely new demographic spaces.
Oh, so a listener tuning into a top 40 hip-hop station hears Harlow's verse, stays for Jungkook's hook, and suddenly you've converted a non-K-pop fan.
Exactly. It seamlessly merges his sound with mainstream Western sensibilities.
They also push the digital innovation to the absolute limit, using global platforms like Spotify and YouTube, but also utilizing AR and virtual concerts to build a massive digital footprint.
But, step 15 in that Amra and Elma blueprint is what really fascinated me.
Which one was that?
Staying true to his roots. Amidst this massive global pop push, he kept the emotional depth and, crucially, the Korean language intact in his overall communication and content.
Which is the anchor that kept the whole ship from floating away. I mean, if he had dropped a fully English album, dressed entirely in Western street clothes, and stopped interacting with fans on Korean platforms, the core fandom would have felt alienated.
They absolutely would have felt like he sold out for Billboard numbers. By keeping his Korean identity and that emotional vulnerability front and center, like speaking Korean during his casual late-night Weverse live streams, it made the global expansion feel authentic.
It told the fans, hey, I am growing, but I am still the person you've always known.
Precisely.
Speaking of the brilliant strategies behind these massive comebacks, if you love staying updated on the mechanics behind your bias's next move, hit that subscribe button to Starscope K-Report. We track exactly how the biggest agencies in the world engineer these cultural moments.
And honestly, understanding the business behind the art makes watching these artists succeed so much more rewarding.
Let's talk about that success, because the chart statistics reported from Shaw Theaters are genuinely historic. Jungkook became the first Asian solo artist to top the Billboard Hot 100, the Global 200, and the Global 200, excluding US.
That is insane.
7, 3D, and standing next to you, all hit the top 10. And the album itself, Golden, stayed in the Billboard 200 for 24 consecutive weeks.
24 weeks on the Billboard 200 for an Asian solo artist is unprecedented. But what makes this specific marketing rollout so brilliant is that it never felt like corporate marketing to the fans.
Really? How so?
The integration of exclusive content was just so deep because he was sharing his fears in the documentary and doing these impromptu hours-long live streams where he'd literally just fall asleep on camera. ARMY felt like they were on an intimate journey with a friend.
So the fandom culture was weaponized in the best way possible. Pushing him to the top of the charts wasn't a consumer transaction, it was a shared mission to validate his hard work. I want to try an analogy here. Watching the rollout of the golden era felt exactly like watching a masterfully engineered Apple product launch.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Think about it. When Apple drops a new iPhone, it's not just a phone. They tease the specs, they hold the keynote event,
Yeah.
but more importantly, they trap you in an ecosystem.
Right, you buy the phone, but then you need the AirPods.
And the Apple Watch connects to it all. Jungkook's rollout was a lifestyle ecosystem. You stream 7, which leads you to his Weverse Live, which makes you want to buy the physical album for the photo cards, which drives you to the movie theater to see the documentary. Is it just good music? Or did he create a perfectly engineered ecosystem where fans are so involved in the creative narrative that they literally cannot look away?
It is absolutely an ecosystem, and it relies heavily on emotional retention. You don't just buy a song, you invest in the narrative of his growth.
Right.
The documentary is the Apple Watch in your analogy.
It's an accessory to the album that enriches the overall experience.
Yes. And once a fan buys into one piece of the narrative, they have to experience the rest, just to see how the story ends.
And this genius strategy paid off in ways nobody saw coming at the physical box office. Plus, later in the deep dives, we'll talk about the shocking plot twist hitting streaming that fundamentally changed how agencies handle an idol's military hiatus.
This is where we see the Hallyu wave truly flex its economic muscle. We are translating digital streams and Billboard charts into a physical, record-shattering fan experience.
Let's look at the concrete facts. According to the Times of India, the box office data for Jungkook I Am Still is wild for a documentary. The film hit number 9 at the North American box office.
Wow.
Yeah, it grossed $1.42 million over its opening weekend, bringing the North American total to $2.57 million globally. It raked in $5.6 million across 114 territories. We're talking about screenings in roughly 120 countries, playing on over 700 screens.
Numbers like that for a limited release documentary are just staggering. But you have to remember, going to see a K-pop documentary in theaters isn't just going to the movies.
It is a highly coordinated fandom event. And addressing you, the listener, right now, if you were one of the people lining up at 6 a.m. at a theater, you know exactly what this felt like.
Oh, absolutely. The theater merch alone caused an absolute frenzy. The US, BTS, ARMY Hub, and Shaw theaters detailed these exclusive items. Cinemark had limited edition popcorn buckets and souvenir cups.
I saw videos of those lines. They were crazy.
Right. There were exclusive holographic postcards and photo cards given out strictly on a first-come, first-served basis. Fans were treating the theater like a merch booth at a stadium. They weren't just paying for a ticket to see a film. They were paying to secure a physical memory of the era.
It's community building in a physical space.
Yeah.
Okay, but here is where the logistical genius really kicks in. Because just when you think the era is wrapping up and the cinematic run is over, his agency drops the twists. First, they announced the Party Edition, dropping on October 11th.
This is where I was completely blown away by the strategy.
Right. So the Party Edition featured an extra 20 minutes of sing-along videos, complete with on-screen lyrics, engineered specifically for theaters.
Let's analyze the mechanism of that decision. By releasing a Party Edition just weeks after the initial release, you are effectively double-dipping the box office.
You are giving the hardcore fans who already saw the documentary a reason to come back a second or third time.
Exactly. It turns a passive viewing experience into a literal concert. You are encouraging fans to bring their light sticks, stand up, and sing along in a room full of other RMYs. It is brilliant retention.
And just when you think that's the end of the content pipeline, they announced the streaming plot twist. On December 3rd, Jungkook I Am Still, the original docuseries, hits Disney Plus season. But they didn't just dump the theatrical cut onto the platform.
Of course not, because that wouldn't drive new subscriptions.
Exactly. They expanded it into 3 distinct extended episodes titled Departure, Via, and Rise. Just to ground the facts here, a Disney Plus subscription offers tiers starting at $11.99 a month. And fans were more than willing to pay that monthly fee specifically to access those expanded cuts.
This content pipeline is a masterstroke in logistics, and it raises a vital question like, why produce so much content and why stagger the releases so perfectly across the calendar?
Well, because he's not actually here.
Bingo. Jungkook is currently on hiatus, serving his mandatory time in the South Korean military. Historically, when a K-pop idol enlisted, they vanished from the public eye for 18 months.
It was a dead zone for their relevance and revenue.
Right. But this meticulously planned rollout, dropping the album, followed by the theatrical release, followed by the party edition, followed by the expanded Disney Plus series months later, it completely rewrites the playbook. It acts as a lifeline for Army of the Air.
It's a continuous revenue and relevance stream. It ensures that even while he is physically away in the military, he is dominating the cultural conversation.
It proves his dedication to the fans, ensuring they never feel his absence. It is the ultimate fan service, engineered flawlessly. It keeps the fandom fed, active, and united.
And if you want to make sure you never miss a milestone when your favorites make history, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead.
Because dissecting the architecture of these massive pop culture moments is exactly what we are here to do.
So what does this all mean? We started this deep dive by uncovering Jungkook's hidden fear. We saw that raw, unfiltered imposter syndrome where he looked at the camera and asked, "Can I make it without the power of BTS?"
Now the dust has settled. He has objectively conquered the global box office. He has swept the Billboard charts as the first Asian solo artist to do so, and he engineered a flawless, self-sustaining solo era entirely on his own.
He answered his own question with a resounding yes.
He really did.
He did. But it leaves us with an even bigger question. What happens when the military hiatus ends and BTS finally reunites? For a decade, they operated with a very specific, carefully balanced group dynamic. But will that dynamic permanently shift now that the Maknae has proven, without a shadow of a doubt, that he isn't just a vital part of a team, but a standalone global titan capable of moving the world entirely on his own?
It's a thrilling thought. The next chapter of BTS isn't just going to be a reunion, it's going to be an assembly of individual giants. And I think it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen in the history of music.
You've been listening to Starscope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.